You see, over the next month, we're going to be talking in a series called Holding Nothing Back. Because that's really what God has asked of me and what He's asked of you. And He's saying, look, I've given you life and I've given you this beautiful place to call home. And it may not be perfect, and the relationships that you find yourself in may suck at times, but I promise you, what I have in store for you is greater than what you can possibly imagine. And so I'm going to challenge you this month to hold nothing back from God. And I want to talk to you today about this guy named John the Baptist. You guys ever heard of John the Baptist? He's a cousin of Jesus Christ. He comes onto the scene and he begins to just preach this radical gospel that begins to change everything. It doesn't just change people, but it changes the world around them. And so John the Baptist comes on the scene and he's radical. He dresses crazy. He kills his own animals and he makes them into clothing. He's like the original Grizzly Adams. He is the hipster of all hipsters. He doesn't eat anything but locusts and honey. He doesn't care about diets or being a vegetarian or eating organic. He doesn't care about anything except this being, Jesus Christ. He's radical. Everything he does is strange. He doesn't live in society. He lives in the middle of the desert by himself as his hermit. And he dresses weird. And he eats strange things for them. And all of a sudden he shows up into the middle of town and he already has this following. Why? Because he's different. You all know those people that are so weird that you're strangely drawn to them, right? That you want to know what they're going to wear next or what they're going to do next or what they're going to post next, right? And he says, there's this being that's going to come before me. The one true God that's manifested or created himself here on earth as a human. And what I need you people to do, and I need you to understand, is that this entity, God, will come and He will transform every ounce of your being from the inside out. And you need to change, because if you don't change, no one will ever understand the fullness that is God. Deep. Because John's coming onto a scene where everyone is saying what you need to do is go to church, give me all your money, and then do as I say, and you might get into heaven. And John's saying that's not how it goes. John's saying what I need you to do is trust God, give Him your entire life, and watch the world spin out of control. Everyone begins to follow this guy, John. Thousands upon thousands of people begin to come and listen to this guy preach. And he stands in the middle of the Jordan River and he begins to tell people, what I need you to do is forget your old life, start living in a new life, and I'm going to baptize you here and now as a symbolic gesture of you dying to your old self and rising in this being called God. That's wild. And the people are eating it up because they want something different, because politically and socially things just aren't working out for them. And they're bitter and they're angry, and finally they can grab a hold of something that's real. God loves me and cares about me and wants to change every part of me. So in Luke chapter 3, and you can read it in verses 10, 11, and 12, all of a sudden, this revolution begins to take place. And it's subtle in verbiage. It doesn't really say, and the revolution takes place, and John the Baptist baptizes 27,000 people. It's like one sentence goes by, and the world is changing. It says crowds and crowds of people begin to follow John, and they cried out to him, "John, what are we supposed to do that makes us so different from the rest of the world? What am I supposed to do?" And John goes, "How's this for starters? If you have extra, give it away. Follow the laws of the land." Concept, right? Be honest. Forgive. Show grace. Love people when no one else wants to love them. He says it's really quite simple. What I need you to do is be different from everyone else in the world. You see, the crowds want to know, the tax collectors want to know, the soldiers want to know, people are begging, how can I be different? How can I let the world know that the living God has come inside of me and transformed everything about me? And John gives them something very simple, and I too am going to give you something simple. Be different.